off with like some words and a quote from Brother Malcolm X. It was a speech that he did on October the 13th in 1963, which is almost like 50 years ago. And he goes, "And during the few moments that we have left, we want to just have an off-the-cuff chat between you and me, us. We want to talk down to earth in a language that everybody here can easily understand. We all agree tonight that America has a very serious problem. And not only does America have a very serious problem, our people has a very serious problem. See, America's problem that they have is us. We're her problem." Now, if we look at that and try to think 50 years into the future as in now, one of the first things that Prime Minister David Cameron said was Somalia poses a direct national threat to our security. And we have become the UK's problem. We have become the issues that they are facing right now, according to the Prime Minister. And it's not just us, this is obviously we are here, but it's our brothers and sisters back home. They apparently are a direct national threat to the security of this country. Now, Brother just here spoke about the lethal dose that was given to the nation. We have a dead state, and he goes like, and the nation is dying. I like to believe in hope. I like to believe in things that we can change. I like to believe, obviously, there's a certain dose of reality that we must have. But the main point that I know that most of the Somali people are arguing about is unity. And to me personally, there's no point in arguing about unity when that option isn't even on the table right now. It's like trying to figure out what type of roof you want to have on a house or a foundation that you haven't even built yet. It's if you want to have the right foundation, peace is your foundation. Justice and reconciliation is your house. And unity will ultimately become your roof. What type of roof you want to have, you can argue later. But first you have to have the right architects to design your house. And you have to find the right building blocks and the right cement to hold that house together. And we have the exact same thing. So, unless we build that house first, we might argue about what room you want to have later on and how you want to decorate it, but at least you have a house to live in. At least you have a roof over your head. And that's the thing that we'll be looking at, obviously, when it comes to our country and our nation. See, I like to, obviously, look into history. I'm a history, I'm not prof or expert, but I love history. And if we look at a lot of the things, especially colonialism, there was a meeting that they had in Bandung in 1954. Is where they brought together all the sort of like black countries from all over Africa and Asia. And when they came together, and they realized, okay, so you had one African who came from Congo, and he was colonized by the Belgian. And you had one who came from Angola, and it was by the Portuguese, and one was by the Englishmen, one was by the Frenchmen, one was by the Dutchman. And when they came together, they realized the one thing they had in common. That all Europeans. Now 50 years later, and it hasn't changed, they might not physically be there anymore, but if you're into sports, it's kind of like they've changed their tactics, they've changed their game plan, but they're still annihilating us with the scoreline and constantly scoring goals against us, and they're still defeating us. They just made it look better and prettier by doing it. It's no longer direct. Instead of being a direct military takeover of the country, we're being politically colonized right now through direct or indirect means. So we have to come together and we have to look at things that we have in common. And one thing that we have in common, and even though I know a lot of people say we have the same language, we have the same culture, we have the same religion, and all that is true. But the one thing we have in common is that we have not given ourselves a chance at peace. We have not given ourselves a chance to have a real democracy that's based on our values, our cultural values, our religious values. It's not based on the situation that we have back home. We have so many people who argue about, yes, we have to have Somali-led initiatives and they keep breaking down. And it's true, but it's not just for us. This used to happen, we look at Britain. Britain used to do the same thing to Ireland so many years. Every time they had something, they tried to get something up, they would be crushed, both politically and industrially. See, we have not been defeated because they're smarter than us, because they're not. We're being defeated by our ignorance. And that's the key difference. Thank you very much.